today we're doing something a little different. Today we're not talking about green card process or immigration. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ozzy. If this is your very first time of tuning in, you're welcome. This is the amazing channel that I created to share my experience applying for a green card under the EB2NIW category. Today I'm talking about one question that one of you actually asked me, and that is how to set up a personal development plan. But first, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click the red button right now. And if you'd like to get a notification in your email every time I upload a new video, please click on the bell sign. Today I'm going to share 5 tips with you on how to set up a personal development plan. Now, what is a personal development plan? Well, that's a plan that is tailored to you, that helps you set goals and crush them, basically. That's what it is in simple terms, right? One of my subscribers actually asked me to talk about it, so I'm going to give you 5 simple tips that will help you set goals and actually crush them. And these are principles that I personally use, and I hope that you apply them and see how it works for you as well. The very first thing that I do is that I set a goal, right? You have to set a goal. What is it that you want to achieve? Write it down. Some people use vision boards, whatever it is that you're going to use. Set a goal and write it down. I personally have journals that I use to write down the goals, things that I want to achieve. I write those things down, and by writing it down I actually visualize it, and it reminds me. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my goals. And so that's something that you may want to do, is if you have goals, write it down. The second thing that I do is I set a timeline. Now, I always use the example of applying for a green card because that's what I did, right? So let's say my goal is to get a green card. The next thing I'm going to do is write it down. After I write it down, I'm going to set a realistic timeline. Now, I'm going to set a realistic timeline. That means that I'm not going to set a timeline based on what I think it should be. I'm going to set a timeline based on what my timetable is right now and what I can actually achieve. When I set a goal to actually get my green card, I set this goal around March, right? But I wanted to turn in the application by at least November, right? Latest November. And so what I did was that I wrote down my goals. I sat down and realistically asked myself, how much time can I put into preparing the documents for my application? And I realized that I would have to set aside 1 hour every day after work, excluding the weekends. So 1 hour every day after work, I would sit down and I would work on a different aspect of my application. And that's what I did. When November came, I was ready to submit my application. So you have to set a timeline. You have to dedicate time to actually work on your goals, right? Okay, so now that you set the timeline, number 3 is that you have to be committed. Commitment is required. Let me tell you, commitment is something that you're going to need to crush any goal. It's also something that you're going to need for every relationship, every business, everything that you set your heart to do. You're going to have to be committed. And so what does commitment mean? I'm going to give another example with the green card process, right? Right after I set my goal to submit my green card application in November, and I started working on it every night. There are times when I would get phone calls from friends and like, hey Ozzy, do you want to go to this store opening? Or do you want to hang out? Do you want to try this new place? People were constantly coming up with things that they wanted me to join them to do. And I had to be committed, stay committed to my plans. I had to stay committed to my goals. So the thing is this, there are going to be distractions. There are going to be things that are going to pull you left, center, everywhere. People are going to want your attention. That's going to happen. But you have to be reminded of your goals. You have to be reminded of what it is that you really want, and set that time aside. Make sure that nothing distracts you from your goals, because when you achieve that goal, you're going to have time to do every other thing. All those things can wait, all right? So that's what commitment is. Commitment is setting your heart to your goal and saying, hey, this is what I want to achieve, and I'm going to give it my all right? So that's number 3, stay committed, right? Number 4 is something that I tell a lot of people they need, but not everyone has one. It's a mentor. Get someone who will guide you. Now, I personally believe in mentors. I have a lot of mentors. I have mentors for my career. I have mentors for business. I have mentors for even my relationship. I go to them with questions and I ask them. They've been in this situation, similar situations, and I'm asking them, like, what are the easier ways to do things? I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that's something that you have to think about as well. You don't have to do everything from scratch. So for instance, you're applying for your green card and you're writing a petition letter. You don't have to think about the words from scratch. Someone else has written those letters. Someone else has applied for a green card. Ask those people for help. Now, what I've done is that I've gone ahead and written an ebook for people who want to self-petition for their green cards, and it's available to people who are trying to apply for their green cards under the EB2NIW category. In a way, I've mentored a lot of people to put their petition letters together. And so you need people who have walked in your shoes. I hear people say all the time that they're self-made. I've listened to a lot of people explain what they mean by being self-made. And a lot of times what I get from it is that they didn't have any help financially. Now, to be very honest, when I choose mentors, I'm really not looking for someone to give me money. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone to teach me the principles. Mentorship is about finding someone who has walked the path that you are on right now. They can give you advice. They can actually point you in the direction of scholarships, resources that will help you grow in all areas of your life, and they don't actually have to give you money. In my experience, actually mentors are actually the best because you don't have to make every mistake in the book, and that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing my experience applying for a green card. I'm sharing the mistakes that I made so you don't have to make those mistakes as well. I'm sharing tips that would help you succeed so you can succeed as well. And that's pretty much what mentorship is. It's finding someone who will hold you by the hand and show you the way so you don't have to get lost looking for the right path. And so that's what mentorship is. So find a mentor, someone that's going to help you achieve your goal, and things will go a whole lot smoother for you. All right, and that's number 4. Number 5 is my favorite because it's reward yourself. I have a reward system, and so I told my husband when we were applying for a green card, I said as soon as we get it, I really want us to travel. And if you watch my last video, we were able to go to Japan, and I shared a little bit about our experience there. So you see, it's always really, really good to set a reward, something to look forward to, something that makes your heart glad. Every time you're working on that goal, you think about that reward and you go like, yes, I can't wait to achieve that goal so I can get the reward. I'm not asking you to set a reward that is way out of your budget. I'm not asking you to spend all your money trying to get certain things that you cannot afford. No, your reward does not have to be super expensive. Your reward can just be, you're going to see a show, you're going to purchase something that you've longed for, perhaps a new camera. You're probably going to start your YouTube channel. Reward yourself with something meaningful, okay? Now, don't reward yourself with something that will make you go into debt, where after you get that thing, then you have to set another goal to pay that thing off. You know what I mean? So yeah, so these are the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you, how I personally crush my goals. I think of a goal, something that I really, really want to achieve. I write it down. Next, I set a realistic timeline, a time when I can actually work on my goal, and I break it into bits. So for me personally, I wanted to work 1 hour every day on my application until I submitted it, right? So that's my goal. That's my timeline. And of course, you have to stay committed. There are going to be distractions, and some of these things are good distractions. So when you think about distractions, don't only think about the bad things. Some of the distractions are legit, but I encourage you to stay committed. Number 4 is find a mentor. Find someone who's going to hold you by the hand, encourage you as you go along, and cheer you on, and answer your questions and be real with you. And number 5, when you achieve those goals, go ahead and take a vacation. Treat yourself. Reward yourself for the hard work that you put in. Set a reward system. I hope these tips have helped you. If this is your first time and you haven't already subscribed, please do so right now. Share this video with your friends and family, and let me know in the comment section what things you do to actually help you crush your goals. I'd really love to hear from you guys. Until the next video, have an amazing day. Bye-bye.